guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kavaya Watrice. If you're new, hit the subscribe button and join the family. So today we're having our first business building episode. As you see, my channel is faith, lifestyle, and entrepreneurship. So I wanted to sit down and have our first chit chat business building episode today. If you don't know me, I'm the founder of the She Who Is Called mobile app, which is a mobile app that teaches women all over the world how to stay uplifted in the midst of their downfalls. We are now a community of over 55,000 people, which is just mind-blowing. So the tips that I give you guys today are based off of my personal experiences with building this community that has in almost 3 years grown to a community of 55,000. So there were some things that I had to do in order for this community to grow. So let's get right into it. Point number one is to be authentic. That means being real, being transparent, being open. You have to be authentic when you're building a brand you want people to love. And that's because you want to be real, you want to be transparent. People like to know the real. They don't just want to know what we glamorize, but they want to know the things that go on behind the scenes too. And this has worked so well for the She Who Is Called platform because I give people real relatable content, right? I am considering all walks of life when those notifications go out. So we're speaking to issues that people have about faith. We're speaking to the issues people have with trusting God. We're speaking to the hard things. We're speaking to even the joyful things. We're trying to bring things out of them to push them deeper into their faith. But we can only do that by considering the girl who we want to download our app. That girl wants to grow deeper in her faith, but there are some things that we have to tell her first in order for her to let her walls down. So we're being authentic, we're speaking to a need, and we're solving that need by pushing out notifications that speak to the realness of where she is in life. We're being authentic, we're being real, we're being relatable so that people can identify with the brand that we're building, and they love it because they know that they're going to get one of their sources of their inspiration from the She Who Is Called mobile app. And you don't necessarily have to be in the field that I am, just like encouragement and inspiration. Let's say you are a specialist in natural hair. That's what you like to share. Don't just share the poppin' good curl days. There are some girls who are struggling with their twist out, who have been trying for months to get a perfect twist out. Speak to that girl too. Walk with her through that process of being in the beginning, but hey sis, don't give up because you can get to this expected end also. So be authentic, be real, be relatable. Share the struggles that you had when you first started in your natural hair journey. And this is just my example. You can insert whatever field you're in, but you have to be real and relatable. That's how the She Who Is Called mobile app grew. I was real about the struggles that I was going through, and I shared those things because I felt like other people could relate to that. But I was open about the ups and open about the downs. And when you're creating something that you want people to love, they have to identify with that thing. So being authentic and being real and being relatable will take you many places. I definitely know for sure that the She Who Is Called mobile app would not be where it is today if we were not being real, authentic, and relatable. If we were not pushing out content that people could identify with, right? When you're building a brand that people love, you want them to be able to identify with something that you're building so that they can feel a sense of community with it and they'll grow to love it. So let's get into number two. Number two is to offer something that is useful. The She Who Is Called mobile app, for my example, has grown to be such this large community now because every day we are giving you something that you can use and you can apply to your life. Every single day. In this area, you kind of have to figure out how are you going to stand out. Because honestly, all of these fields are oversaturated. We're not even worrying about that. We're not worrying about everybody else, but we're worrying about how we want to stand out in the field that we're doing. So how can you do something every day? How can you offer something useful that people can either use every day or every week? I'm not going to say every month. I'm saying every day or every week, because that's going to build that trust when people are getting something either daily or weekly from you. Now, when you're doing something daily and something weekly, that's going to be a sacrifice because you're constantly putting things out for your target audience, right? We push out notifications every single day. There isn't a day that has gone by that you have not received a notification from the She Who Is Called mobile app, unless there was some sort of internal situation going on with the software, or if I needed a self-care day to fill myself back up from pouring. But every day you get something from us. That's because we have created something that is useful. Even if you're not able to, if you don't have a mobile app or something where you can provide something every day for your audience, you need to be utilizing something every week. That's an email because they're on your email list, whether that's a weekly blog post, a weekly text. Something needs to be happening weekly or daily, and it needs to be something of value. Like I said, having something weekly and daily in the beginning, that's going to be a sacrifice, right? But that's because it takes time to build a community of people that actually trust you. When you're building a brand that people love, you also want their trust. You have to be okay with sacrificing, the time that you're putting in the beginning, because you want people to love and trust your brand. But when you're building it, trust and believe, it has to be something of value. What problem are you solving, and how can you stand out? Ask yourself those questions. Number 3, when building a brand that people will love, is be personable. When people purchase something from your brand or your business, say thank you. Have a follow-up strategy where they either get a thank you email, they get a thank you text, something. If they commented on your Instagram post, engage with them in the comments. You want to be personable. You want those people to feel like they have access to you, and like there's a sense of community in the brand that you're building. People love that. Just love that personable connection. When, hey, you reach out to me, you send me a DM, I'm responding, and I want you to feel that trust if you purchased from me. I want you to feel that trust if you have my app. But you have to be personable and engage with those who are engaging with your brand. People just like to feel valued. They want to know that they're a part of the community in the brand that you're building. So that's a big tip. You want to figure out how in your business or your brand can you be personable? How can we make people feel involved? How can we make them feel valued and a part of an engaged community? Last thing, of course, is consistency. That everyone hears this. There's a reason why everyone's saying it, because consistency definitely brings in the people when they know that every day or every week they're getting something. Like I said, there's not a day that has gone by within this almost 3 years that you didn't receive a notification from me, that you didn't have a daily devotional to read. Now, let me say this. In the beginning, when the app first started out, we did daily devotionals. I literally just stopped doing them, I think last year, because it just became too much. But people knew that every day they were getting a notification. Every day they were able to go on my app and read a daily devotional. And that was my it factor for standing out. I was like, well, how can I stand out from these other inspirational apps? Personally, I wanted to send a notification out every day, and I wanted to have daily devotionals. Daily devotionals was my thing that I wanted to market, that made me stand out from all these other apps. Of course, there's other daily devotional apps, but I wanted to incorporate both the notification and the devotions. So being consistent and having that every day for 3 years, I did the work in the first 2 years of having that every day. So now in this 3rd year, when I took the daily devotionals away and I made them monthly, people still trusted me. They still knew I was going to bring the heat and bring a word, because I've been doing it consistently for 2 years. So you have to be consistent, y'all. And this is going to take putting systems in place. Before I had an app, I was a blogger, and there would be months where I was consistent and months where I wasn't, because maybe I had writer's block, or maybe I just fell off, didn't feel like it. But when things were taken to a next level, my work ethic had to show up to that next level too. So when you're building a brand you want people to love, you have to be consistent. And for whatever you are choosing to do, you have to figure out what is going to be your consistent it factor that people are getting daily or weekly. And like I said, some suggestions are, start building your email list. Maybe they're getting a weekly newsletter, a weekly pick-me-up, a weekly tips on natural hair. That was the example that I used. But people need something daily or weekly. Maybe you haven't started building an email list, but you have an Instagram account. How often are you posting on that Instagram account, that business Instagram account? How often? Be honest, with the She Who Was Called Instagram, like, I was so frustrated with that Instagram account. I was like, I don't really know what I want to do with it. Once I started being consistent on that page, it started to grow. The page has, I think, it actually just hit 8,000 followers as of this morning. Once I got a system and figured out, okay, what do I want to do with this page? I knew that I wanted to put weekly prayers, weekly affirmations, and like one weekly quote thing. And once I started doing that consistently, the page grew, the engagement grew, the shares grew. So you have to be consistent, and you're not going to see these type of results in creating a brand that people love until you're being consistent. And that takes time. Okay, it takes time. Like I said, it's been 3 years to create this platform of thousands and thousands of people. Be patient so that when you're consistent, you're authentic, and when you offer something of value, the people will come. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll probably have another business building session next week. I'll see you guys in my next video.